Hello, hello, hello. Yeggooner. We're gonna be doing the Arsenal Liverpool predictions for the FA Cup. On so before we do that, what I'm gonna do, I'm going to talk about my favorite third place in Edmonton. My favorite third place is 97 Far, and what I do is I get appetizer, I get green onion cake. I put that hot sauce in that, you know what I'm trying to say, and then I get the satay beef. Okay, so my wife put me on this place. Been going there for 10 plus years. If you have been there, tell me what your order is. If you have not been there, then tell me why haven't you been there and get there right now. You get me? Anyways, moving on to the game. I'm gonna go on like a little bit of Arsenal, like Arsenal fan, like not like a rant, not like a correct like me going hard in, but the season is halfway there. I had expectations coming into the beginning of the season, and I need to kind of articulate how I feel about the FA Cup, how I feel about cups in general. So me personally, right, I believe every single time you are in a competition, you have to win it. I believe that when you go into a competition, regardless of like how other people view it, as a collective, as a club, to show our dominance, to show that we are the top dog in the league, which we're not. We're not the top dog in the league, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to be. The way you try to be is by winning every single game, win every single competition you're in. It is impossible for you to win every single game. It's impossible to win every single competition. But this FA Cup, yeah, my club has won it 14 times. We have won it the most. You can pretty much call that the Arsene Wenger Cup. Tell me why we shouldn't go into this thing at home, absorbing the pressure and making it turn us into diamonds. Tottenham played Burnley. They played absolute rubbish. They were garbage. Pedro Porro scored a late screamer to get them to the next round. If you are a Tottenham fried chicken fan, you don't care that the game was rubbish. The only thing you care about is advancing to the next round. So tell me why the Tottenham fried chicken, who are afraid in this Premier League era of any silverware, tell me why they're able to play a Premier League side. Yes, it's Burnley. Yes, arguably Burnley is a championship side, but where they're performing. But they're in the Premier League right now, which means they're Premier League side. So they're playing tough competition. They're not playing Wrexham. They're not playing Sunderland. Tell me why they're able to beat that kind of competition and why we shouldn't have the expectation with what I would say the Arsene Wenger Cup to go out, have the pressure on us, and beat Liverpool. I understand that in terms of major honours, the FA Cup isn't that prestigious. But it means something in the English echelons of football. Now, with that being said, I have not seen any predicted lineups at the moment. I know Klopp has said he's going to bring out his strongest side. And we know that good managers, world-class managers like Klopp, like Pep, I'm not going to say Arterta, he's not in that. He doesn't have the CV. They like to play mind games. I don't care about mind games. If I am Arteta, after this terrible blip of form that we're having, understanding that Liverpool are our competitors in this league. This may not be a league game, but they are our competitors in this league. You need to understand that it's important for you to beat them here so it gives us momentum going out of this game into the Crystal Palace game. And we play them very, very soon in February. So, with what Klopp has said, I do believe he will bring out his strongest side available, or strongest available side, because Endo has gone to the Asian Cup. Salah has gone to African Cup of Nations. Arteta needs to bring out his strongest available side. No rotation. When I say strongest available, I mean when these guys came into trading, off of the bad performance that we had, who is the best available side. So what that could mean is, based on form, Martinelli is playing terrible. He could have come to training and maybe he's performing well in training but just bad in games. He could have come to training and worked his socks off. But Trossard has more GA than Martinelli. Would it make more sense to put Trossard on the left versus putting Martinelli on the left? Would it make more sense to, even though Nketiah stinks, we are at home, Nketiah scores at home. Saka has not been having any joy in that right hand side. He can't beat a single man. You can tell me that there's 3 people double up on him. I don't care. Michael Olise, come back from injury. These guys beating his man. This man is scoring and contributing when he's playing Manchester City, who arguably are the best defensive side inside the league. Stats are one thing, the eye is another thing. I think that the way that they play football, they're probably the best defensive side inside the league. Liverpool think they are because of stats. Arsenal think we are because of stats. I look at the game, I don't believe we are. Based on what I'm seeing, Man City are the best defensive side. Their 2 centre-backs are having hiccups, but in terms of the way they control the game, in my opinion, they have the better defensive side. But Elise was able to do work on that right-hand side. I do believe that maybe Mikel Arteta needs to keep it a bit simple. And when I say these, I think that maybe he should put Saka on the right, Jesus up front, and instead of having Martinelli on the left, maybe, just maybe, put Reece Nelson there instead of Martinelli. It sounds crazy, but Reece Nelson is very direct. Don't give him any of these mega mind instructions. Let him play. And make your mind up whether you want to have Havertz or you want to have Trossard playing in the midfield. And so with that, I do believe if we play a fluid game. I recently watched a video on 442 talking about the new control game Arteta wants to play. I think he should scrap this control stuff. That's what I think. But the thing is, when you're implementing mentalities or ideologies, is that the players are now used to this ideology and this mentality of how he wants to control the game. But we were playing a certain way last season. That will not come back. But what you need to do is find a happy medium. We already implemented the instructions and the tactics for the players last season to play the free-throwing attacking game we played. It may not have been the best defensively, but we did have a good defensive pairing, and we crumbled because Saliba got injured, and Saliba got injured, and Arteta did not prepare for the injury, which made us crumble. 2 things in one. Is 1, Saliba was injured. 2, Arteta did not prepare for an injury, and therefore we crumbled. So what I'm saying is, play that free-flowing game, because Liverpool are not going to expect us to play that free-flowing game. It won us the game when we played them last year. That may have been in league, it's not in the cup, but still, that team is still the same team. It won us the game. Okay? So play that way. Once we come 2 goals up, and then we're looking for the third, then control the game. But this is the problem. McAllister is back for Liverpool, and McAllister has been playing really, really well this season. He's not a DM, but he's able to pick up the ball in pockets in their midfield and distribute it to people so that they can run and attack. That's the thing about Liverpool. They're able to run through the channels of your midfield very quickly. And we're having issues with players and teams running at us. It's like we're bypassed in the midfield, and that's what Liverpool do really well in transition. They reconstructed their whole midfield this season, and it looks like their midfield is a driving factor when previous seasons it wasn't. When they won the Champions League and the league, in both of those seasons, their midfield was there just to work like dogs. And it was their front 3 that provided them with goals, that provided them with GA. Now what it's looking like, although Mohamed Salah is not available, they'll have Diogo Jota. So Arsenal fans don't get gassed. Diogo Jota is literally our Lord Voldemort. So what they're going to do is bypass our midfield and give it to the people on the wings that will create chaos, and they'll run at us. That is our biggest weakness. Ben White gets cooked on a daily basis. Daily basis, Ben White gets cooked. He's a daily offender. And he's not even an Eastender. Okay? So what they're going to do is sit back, let us control the game, and then when we make a mistake, which is most likely going to come from lack of composure, and not having a bottle, they will attack us quickly, rapidly, rockstar football. You know how Jurgen Klopp does. So with all of that being said, with my basic analysis, I'm not a coach, I'm not Statman Dave, I'm not James Lawrence O'Cott, I'm not one of those guys. I just watch the game with my eyes and dissect it that way. With that, I do believe that we have what it takes to win the game. But is Arteta going to mega mind it? That is the problem. Is Arteta going to mega mind it? Everyone keeps saying that Arsenal versus Liverpool is a high-scoring game. Lately, it has not been a high-scoring game. Lately, in the past 3 years, the most goals that have been scored is 5. Other than that, we lost them, I believe, the 2021 season, the Carabao Cup, we lost 2-0. We've lost 2-0, I believe, inside the same season. Then it was 2-2 when we played them last year at the Anfield, and we beat them 3-2. That I would say that is the higher scoring game. So I predict that this game is gonna be a sticky one, but I predict it's gonna be a low scoring game. Even though we have the history's highest scoring matchup, I believe that we will win 1-0 to the Arsenal. Please, I'm praying that this happens, right? I'm praying it happens because I'm gonna touch base on a little bit of how I feel about this season right now. I'm sorry if you're here for not an Arsenal fans, rant or whatnot, but this is what I believe. I listen to a lot of Arsenal fans. I listen to Jessica Black. I live the North Side. I listen to Lee Gunner. I watch the Football Terrorist literally daily. It's my routine. My wife calls him the Football Terrorist. And what I believe is that if we do not win Sunday, I know this sounds like really sleep, but bear with me. I think we should just fire Arteta. It sounds silly, but bear with me. Okay? Reason I say we should fire him if we do not win, I do not want a replay, because we go to replay, we will lose at Anfield. I guarantee you. We have not won there in ever. No replay. If we do not win, I don't need no entertainment. I just need a result. When I watch Tottenham Fried Chicken, I want to be entertained. When I watch the biggest cheats in Premier League history, Man City, I want to be entertained. When I watch my club, I just want a W. You can score a handball, it roll into the net, VAR don't catch it, and we win the game. I don't care. I just want to win. Reason I say that he should be sacked, in my personal opinion, is because we have the right components to challenge for every single competition we are in. We can't win the Champions League. That's out of it. We can't. We don't have the heritage. And this is why I believe he should be sacked. The FA Cup is our heritage. If we can't win an FA Cup versus Liverpool in the third round, we can't win the final versus Liverpool inside. We can't win the final versus City. We can't win the final versus maybe Tottenham. Actually, they won't get there. What am I talking about? We can't win the final versus maybe Chelsea. We can't win the final versus United. This is our heritage. If we cannot win in the third round, regardless of what team it is, Arteta needs to leave. He should in fact resign. That's better for him, because if he resigns, he has the opportunity to sit back, wait for the Dortmund job. Sit back, wait. Maybe Sean Dyche gets fired, Everton job will suit him. He could probably manage in Spain, get the Sevilla job. I'm very, very sure that their manager is looking close to being fired too. Even sit back and wait. Genoa, City Group. He's worked with the City people before. He can get that job. But there are managers like Hansi Flick that are sitting out. There are managers that have managed top clubs, like Jose Mourinho. That, not saying he'll be available right now, but we need to think about the fact that we have all of the components to win games. We have the components to get closer to the title, but we're not getting closer. We need to think about these things. Think about all of the signings that he's made. Sambi Lokonga, Nuno Tavares, what's this man's name? What's his name? Marquinhos, center midfielder, Portuguese. I don't know where it's slipping my mind. It's from Porto. It's literally slipping my mind. But what I'm trying to say is not able to utilize the bench to do anything. And it can't be the players. You can't sign all of these players and none of these bench players work. And the bench players don't work. He doesn't use academy players. He just spends more money. We need a manager that can get the best out of anything. I know Pep Guardiola is the best manager, so I'm not going to use him. Klopp, yes, he's the second best manager, but I can use him as reference. This guy gets work out of Curtis Jones, who's able to get Oxlade-Chamberlain and turn him into a centre midfielder. Like, come on. He was able to use James Milner for the better part of, I believe, 5 years, and they were competitive. And you're telling me that we can't use players like Nuno Tavares. He's using Tsimikas right now when Robinson is out. So, personally, I know it's not going to happen. But if we lose this game, I think that Arterta should resign. I know we still have the Champions League and the league to compete in. But if he does resign, he resigns right away. We don't spend any more money inside January. We relax, bring in a new manager for the new season, and then spend money then so that he can get his regime going. But other than that, yeggooner, peace.